Good morning. It's 9:30. It's 41 degrees. The high is going to be 79. And this is Shay in Silver Lake. Anywho, I've been up since 4:30. What a day yesterday ended up being. Anyway, look at these birds. They're just like, I'm gonna cut a bunch of these today, I think. Oh, there's the moon. There's the moon. My kids are yapping over it there. So I'll head out this way. These are beautiful. It's getting super cold at night. It's like killing off most of my stuff. I gave up and went to bed yesterday, like so early that I ended up waking up like at 4:30 this morning. I was like, I hate when I go to bed that early. Just like kind of ruins your whole. Anyway, so what ended up happening? Okay, so let me explain. I did another video. It's like a 20-minute video of me whining and crying because yesterday ended up being nothing. Everybody stood me up. So I did all that work yesterday for nothing, or all week for nothing. And then, but anyway, so I made this video talking about how I got stood up and like all this stuff, and now I'm like conflicted on whether to post it or not. And which I think I'm just gonna try to watch it, and if it's just too sissy la, then I'm just not going to. But then at the same time, it's like I do want to record my daily. It's like a diary. Like this is like a diary to me. So am I supposed to just like rip out a page that I didn't like? Or I don't know. I'm so conflicted because in my mind, my head is saying so many things like, okay, so nobody showed up. And I was really bummed out because I'd put so much work in. Look how much I cut. I'd cut all this back. I filled up my wagon, completely overflowing. I walked it all the way down there, and I dropped it off with Charlotte the pig so she could enjoy like some scrumptious, like I cut down stuff like this. Like, this whole group that was right here. I cut that down so that she could enjoy it. And then I was going to do like wait a day and then do the same thing and like, do that. But in the meantime, while I was cutting all that stuff down, I had made 12 gift bags. And the hardest part is dealing with the California poppies and then the echinacеas. They're not friendly flowers. They're very pokey, even with gloves. And like I was doing, trying to make sure that each person got like 30 to 40 of everything, and then all the sunflowers, dividing them, making all that effort to put it in the bags, and then nobody showing up. And that bothers me because this happens to me every year. Every year people want, they tell me how much they want seeds and all this stuff. And I'm really excited to share, and then they never show up. So I go through a whole bunch of extra effort for people, and then they just don't show up. And then they wait until next season and until they're ready to plant, and then they're like, oh, do you have any of that stuff that you harvested? Well, in order for me to harvest all this stuff, I have to go through all the steps and then store it for the next year, and then they want me to give it to them then. And my kids look at it like this: if you want something for free, then you need to come get it. Me mailing it to you cost me money and time and energy. Me driving it to you after I've harvested and did all the work. It's just not fair. It's just not very nice when I'm already giving it to you for free. And then I already did most of the work. And then now, because I have those 12 gift bags that are going to mold, so I have to take each one of them out. I have to separate each one of the things and then figure out what I'm going to do with them. After I spent all that time, wasting my time, putting them all together to be able to give out. And it just keeps happening. It happens every year. I've only had one time somebody show up, and I ended up giving her the entire harvest because she was the only person that showed up. And that was 2 years ago, and she moved to Idaho. Otherwise, I would be calling her again. But she moved away. So now I'm stuck with all that, and I went around and I asked for grocery bags. And then I sat there for a week and put all that stuff together. It's like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And then, plus my friend, I had made the arrangements, and I had the washers and dryers moved out front, sitting on the side of the road. So it was like this whole thing, and I always get stood up, especially, well, let me put that straight. I always get stood up by women. Women are the number one, 51 years of me being stood up by women. Men never stand me up. So I was pretty heartbroken that the tow truck guy stood me up. Because usually I don't get stood up by guys. It's usually women that do it to me. And so I was like, I had 3 groups of people, and not one of anybody showed up. No phone calls, no nothing. And then finally, late last night, the tow truck guy calls me, and first thing out of his mouth is, I'm so sorry, I've been trying to get there. But what happened was, he had 9 cars that he had to tow for the firefighters. And the cars were in random spots way up on top of this mountain over here. And they were like different hunters and campers rigs that he had to tow out of there as they're, getting closer and closer to the fire. So it's safer to send somebody in. And he ended up towing 9 yesterday. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not upset at you at all anymore. Like, the first thing was that he apologized, and he said, I was in your area. He's like, I really wanted to try to call you or stop by. I just couldn't. There just was never a break in the time where I could do it. And so he's like, I hope it's not too late that I'm calling so late, but I have you on my list. And so I made an agreement with him. Definitely put the firefighters first. Absolutely. Put them first. And I just told him, thank you so much for calling me and telling me, because that did make me feel a lot better. And so he's going to come when he can, no pressure. But yeah, he said he wanted to call me because it was stressing him out, and he didn't want to have to go through another work day, stressed out about not trying to get a hold of me and just leaving me in the lurch like that. And I thought that was really cool. And, so that part of it worked out. No, I never heard from anybody else. And I waited until, a little later this morning before I did this video. So I'm still like wondering if I should upload it and just put it on private for a while, or keep it on private. But then I don't know, because my vlog is also for my friends and my family for the future, so that they can enjoy going over things and blah, 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 and hear me rambling on or whatever. And so there's that. And I just don't know how to feel about it. Because I was like a big sissy la about it. Really hurt my feelings. Like, really hurt my feelings. I was so exhausted yesterday. I canceled all my plans with everybody else. And spent the whole day just standing here. Not just standing here. I worked really hard yesterday. You know, cleaning stuff up, separating, making the gift bags, you know, making more clippings, digging around here and there. And I couldn't water, so I have to spend all day today watering because I couldn't water yesterday because I didn't want it to be wet and muddy and nasty in case they did show up. And I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to try to... I thought about going and giving all my gift bags to Betty June because I'm sure she knows at least 12 ladies. But then again, that's just putting the burden on her, and I just didn't want to do that. And then I told my one neighbor, you know, because she called late last night and or yesterday, and I told her what happened, and she was just like, oh my gosh. And then her solution, oh, there's Lucky. Her solution was, well, you know that you could take a gift bag down to, I'll take one, Amber will take one, Amanda will take one, Jesse and Leah will take one, Cheryl will take one. I'm all, okay, here's the thing. All of those people that she named, all are my neighbors. That's every single neighbor I have, except for the neighbor that lives in Roseburg. The 2 neighbors that live in Roseburg. That's every neighbor I have. The other 2, they're vacation, except for the 2 vacation rentals. And even they would take one. And so I started laughing, and I was like, that's every single person on 6th Street. That's half the town. And you guys will only take it out of sympathy. And she's like, no, we would really enjoy it. So I was thinking that later on today that I could just load my gift bags into my wagon. And I know that my neighbors are super nice. And they like it when I bring them presents and gifts and stuff, but this is like not what they were expecting. They're like, they usually expect onions and carrots and food, or bouquets. They don't usually get like, but I'm just going to tell them like the sunflowers that I put in there, they don't have to take all the seeds out. They don't have to harvest them. They could just lay them out, and then the birds will come and pick at them if they just want to use it for bird feed. Or if they want to pick the seeds out, then they can have it for next year. I don't know. Like, that's what I'm going to do because I know that my neighbors won't say no to me. And I know that that's what Alicia was getting at. I know she was saying, look, we will never say no to you. We love your presence. We know how much work you put in. We see we're your neighbors. So that's my neighbors supporting me. So that, like, after I had to think, you know, I do feel blessed for that they are sweet like that, and that they'll appreciate it. So I think that's what I'm going to do today, is load my bags up in my wagon and just hit one side of the street and then circle around and come up the other side. For some reason, I was trying to think of a feeling that I was like, how to describe the feeling that I'm having now. And I feel like, if you can picture it, Peppermint Patty, her expression, when somebody says something, obvious. Like, if you can picture what her expression would be if somebody said something standing next to her that was completely obvious and she was just like, ugh, like that. I think that's how I feel, but also like with a little mixture of gratefulness too, because if I didn't have my neighbors, this would be a lot of extra work for me today. And I'm still debating on posting my whatever rant, because I missed out yesterday on having breakfast with my son. I have breakfast with him every Saturday. I had to skip 2 Saturdays in a row. I love having breakfast with my son. Not just because he pays for it. But because we always have a super good time. Because he's funny. And we usually eat around the same kind of stuff. Or we'll order opposite stuff and then split. You know, like cut mine in half, give it to him, and then he gives me half of what he's got. Or whatever, you know. But it's always a good time. It's always good conversations. I always learn something interesting, even if I didn't want to learn about it. But I always do learn something interesting. He is nice. So I'm bummed that I missed out on 2 breakfasts with him because I was so focused on September 21st. And then it was just, and then I'm bummed because it was all for naught. And I think that was like what was frustrating. And it hurts my feelings that people don't want they tell me that they want the seeds and stuff and they want to grow and they're going to do all this stuff. And then they don't. And then it hurts my feelings because it's like, wow. It's like giving away, to me, it's like giving away like an animal and then that person just neglecting it. They have no intentions of nurturing it and like that kind of stuff. That's what it makes me feel like. And then I should not take it so personally. It's just plants. But I think that where I'm trying to make it that because I'm actually mad about the work and how sore I feel and how tired and exhausted and how I have to do things out of order, how I would normally do it because I'm catering to other people. I think that's the real reason, and I think I try to lean towards, oh, they're not going to plant it, they're not going to nurture it, it's like blah, blah, blah. I think I try to lean that way. I try to, but it's not really. I think I'm really mad about how sore I am and how I had to do things out of order. I don't like doing things out of order. It's very weird and frustrating, but sometimes you have to do things out of order so that you don't always do things in order. I try to play it like that. What is that growing in here? This looks like an echinacea that didn't flower, but I don't know why it would be growing in here. That's a bit weird. These have so many seeds, all these little seeds in here. Well, I got 2 of them out, but I try to keep. Yeah, I used to pick these kinds of seeds for people, but it's just too hard. And now I just say no. Oh, almost tripped. I used to try to collect seeds and give those out because those are pretty much everybody's favorite. They're beautiful when they bloom. But now I say no. I say, I don't know what kind that is. I don't harvest it. And I don't, because this is what I do. I just sprinkle the seeds so that it will so that they'll spread. I'm going to fill this whole bed with this, and this will take over and it'll choke out pretty much everything except for this snapdragons. But in the spring, there's like, this bed will be completely empty. And then I was pulling out stuff. See, really what I should have been doing was finishing the echinaceas, cutting all those out, and not focusing on a bunch of other stuff. And I'm out of order now. So now I'm the way to get back into order. Now I got to restart. So I'm going to restart in this bed, pull out the Bachelor buttons and the Johnny jumpers or whatever, and then chop this all down and lay the seeds so that it does a line right here. And then go to the next bed, clean that out of the, whatever you call it, the Shasta daisies. There's a few of them in here. And then this is doing okay. I can still go along and pluck out a few more little things here and there. And then same with this one. I need to finish pulling out the Bachelor buttons because new Bachelor buttons are growing. I might just go all the way around this flower planter and let the ones grow inside the flower planter. I don't see how they're going to make it because the time is very short. And then finish this side of the echinaceas. This bed I just kind of want to leave alone because it's just like overwhelming. I might pull out the Bachelor buttons on the side. Clean up the sides except for of the white ones. I'm going to let those bloom. What I do is I let those bloom, and when they seed out, I lift this up and I pull out the weeds. I clip it, because see how there's like all those little seeds? Okay, and then I take my broom and dustpan, sweep all that into a pile, and then I go dump it where I want it. That's how they got here on the edges to begin with, because I did have them up there, but I wanted to move that, but I still wanted them to come back. So I think, and I used to dump them in here, but I think the echinaceas are too thick and only a couple could make it, you know, what was able to survive. So I'm not going to put those there anymore. I think I'll probably move them. How long is this video? 23 minutes is ridiculous. Oh, this is my thick flower bed. Maybe I'll move them into in here because I did move some purple in here. So maybe I'll move the white in here too and let it fill in. And they're not edible, so I don't want them in my food ones. So maybe I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll just probably dump them into that one for right now. And call it good. All right. Peace, love, and happiness. Thank you for listening to my whiny sob story. And I'm going to get dressed and see if I go talk to my neighbors with my wagon and see if they would be, maybe I'll pull a couple beets and impress, sometimes I can get them to take when I bring them a monster or something, they're like, oh, I don't know. Because a lot of them are small families. But, look at that. That thing is huge. These are huge. You see how big that is? Like, this is my hand. And it goes like, so I might pull like 4 or 5 of those. And walk. And then see if I can't entice entice any of them to be interested. But the beets are easy for me to get rid of because my other neighbor, Marie, she owns a restaurant, but she has cooks and stuff. So she likes to do things on the side. She likes to make things and can and do all that kind of stuff when she's... I don't even think I've seen her cook only a couple times. Usually she has her cooks cook. And then she makes like, she bakes cakes and things like that. Specialty items. So, and she'll can and that kind of stuff. And I'll get to try some cool new recipe or whatever. All right. Peace, love, and happiness. May peace be with you. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Good vibes. Good vibes. Sending out goodness. Should have been sending myself some good vibes because yesterday was just so much. I was so exhausted. I was in bed by dark and asleep, and then I woke up at 4:30 this morning. Ridiculous. These birds are like, leave, lady. That's how it was yesterday. They were super mad at me that they just finally gave up and they were just hanging out with me. It didn't even matter. Like, they would be just all around me everywhere, on the ground, everywhere. I was like the whole time wondering, I'm going to get pooped on. I'm going to get pooped on. Because they were so close to me. Like, constantly. It was crazy. Alrighty. It's supposed to be 79 degrees today, so that's at least going to be nice. And it's got good air quality. And I'm going to go and visit each one of my neighbors. Wonderful. Just wonderful. Hey, I wonder how... Let's see. All my neighbors are subbed to my YouTube channel. That's what's funny, too. I can't even give each one of them a card. Because every single one of them has been subbed to my... Maybe not Jesse and Leah. I don't think... Maybe not them. I don't think I've given them a card. But everybody else... And they tell me, I know that they all watch my videos because they'll tell me which video they watched. So that'll be interesting. All right, peace, love, and happiness. I will talk to you guys later. I think there was something that flew up my arm. I hope it's not a bee. That's what happened to me 3 years ago. I was standing right here where I have this potting mix, which I'm going to do strawberries. Put them in containers and then I'm going to fill them with dirt. And something flew up my leg and I was in the middle of a video. As a matter of fact, it was a video where I mentioned Ashley. So I mentioned another channel, some friends from another channel. And it was when I was doing... I think it's the mushroom video, actually. I think it was when I was showing the conchs that we paint on them and stuff. I think it was that video, so it might even be like 3 or 4 years ago. It's not a very long video. Anyway, and I'm not going to go find it because it's so... I don't have a computer, so I have to do everything on my phone. And to go through 1,700 videos, no thank you. All right, this is it. Peace, love, and happiness. I will talk to you guys next time. Don't forget to hit the like, share, subscribe, do whatever you're supposed to do. And, you know, if you have a channel, you can always, like, mention that down below. I'm probably already subscribed. But you can mention that, and maybe somebody else will see it. Anyway, all right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.